So Superbooth 2019, Rabid Elephant. You guys good?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, it's awesome. First time here.
Yeah.
Well, hell of a custom system of things that I've been already asking questions about, but we'll focus on the prototype kick, Portal. I'd really like to just from a few knob turns, I've heard a ton of different kick sounds. So immediately, that's what I want.
Yeah, good, okay.
I mean, walk us through it. For those that haven't seen it, some may have seen a little bit of the teasing and the development, but what is it?
It's sort of a kick drum. Everybody likes 808s, 909s, and we thought, like, what if we could capture some of that nostalgia, but just start from scratch, but not like take it too crazy. So it started with a sine core, and we came up with this really cool click tick circuit here. So I'll show you that first. So there you go. So this is how to get it to cut in a mix. So that's bipolar for tick and click. We can go positive or negative and change the transient. The cool thing with the click is it's actually built into the core. So almost like an oscillator sync. It's not a traditional oscillator like you would have on like a VCO or whatever. So there's a really neat trick we did there for putting the click source right into the waveform as opposed to layering it.
Usually people just layer in a little sample on top of an analog kind of boom or a body or however you want to put it.
Yeah, so that was we started that way. We're actually using this to create ticks and all kinds of different sound sources, and then we discovered that basically like we could always hear those like a separate thing, So this we have it kind of integrated in there, and it kind of sounds like it's supposed to be there. And then the envelope shapes kind of like natural gate, which is how this kick started. Are custom. The shapes are not just simple RC decays. They have this knee thing we call it, and we're still calibrating that curve. But there's 3 envelopes in this thing. There's one for tick, there's one for the pitch FM, and also the amp decay. So those are like non-traditional envelopes. So it kind of already starts off making it sound a little weird. Some FM there. Short FM from our knock. So a little 909 vibe somewhere in there, but it's not really.
Kinda, but I'm more excited that it's kind of like that. I don't just want to go, here's my 909 bass, here's my 808 bass. I like this kind of kick drum designer mentality of the thing. That will touch on all these classic tones, but it isn't one of.
Yeah, so the other parts basically, the Portal is how we do distortion. Basically, it's a folder. It's based around a Buchla folder actually, and then we redid the front end, so it has a little less noise, still a little noisy, but a little less noise. We tried a bunch of different folders. I have a custom one I'm working on for a VCO. It didn't sound as good. The Buchla one's like more hollow and woody and kind of nice sounding. And then we added like an EQ. So the idea with this module, we were like always have to process the kicks like so crazy out of these drum machines. And so we were doing common things like EQing them, high passing, distortion, the layering and all that stuff. So we kind of.
Like you said, trying to build a knee into the envelope shape is kind of what a compressor's doing anyway.
Yes.
The way that once the attackers come through, your 20 milliseconds or whatever, it kicks in.
Right.
And it's like, because you get, I know people that have dropped a few £1,000 on an 808 and they go, doesn't sound that good. And I'm like, well,
you're gonna have to process
yeah, we haven't heard raw 808s since they came out.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right, exactly.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So the transient process. If you're going to recompress it anyway, why not just make the envelope the right shape to start? Yes. Yeah. It's crazy.
Modular. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
We also have the benefit of knowing how these things are going to be used generally. The original ones was kind of
all
just,
this-
there was
yeah.
a culture built around it. It's like decades later, we've all been making music with these things. So, it's a lot of our more recent designs are based on the concept of just keeping something with a very distinct identity like an actual instrument. Like you're never going to play a piano and expect it to sound like a cello or something, right?
No.
So even the ranging on the parameters of the knobs, like that the fundamental tune will never go too high. You're not going to get any like really high perk sounds. It'll go into like tom range at best, right?
But it's aimed at bass and kicks, so that makes sense to tailor. I think it makes it more performable.
Absolutely.
Having controlled range, I don't find limiting. I think it's liberating in how you can modulate it and how you can control it.
Yeah. So a lot of it has to do with, you know, we play these things, we perform them, we build them fundamentally so that we have something that's really intuitive for us to use when we're performing. So when we range the knobs, it's got to be like all sweet spot. There can't be just sudden crazy jumps, or you're just trying to dial in like a tiny fraction of the range of the knob to get the variation that you need. So yeah, we try to smooth the whole tactile experience out so that it's really just feels good to play.
Whereabouts are you in the development phase? I mean, you said that, you know, you're just fine-tuning ranges and shapes a little bit. There are going to be comments if I don't say natural gate's been hard to get hold of, generally.
Those are coming, but this guy, I don't know. We're still working on it, you know. It's still some things I don't like about it. I think it's like maybe 95% the way there. And so we probably spent the last 6 months to a year doing like the previous 5%. And so it's
We're talking this year at some point.
End of this year, maybe next year though, is definitely like a definite.
And what about natural gates? You mentioned they're coming soon. I mean, these things are hard to pin down. It's not just yourselves. Everyone at the show is, they call it Euro rack time. It's just so hard to pin down like a month when something comes out, but if I don't ask, people will. So kind of rough, how far off's natural gate, roughly?
I'm flying back to the US sometime after the Superbooth in a few weeks, overseeing like the training for the calibration people and just to check everything. And we switched manufacturers, so it was like a big delay. Yeah, so it's soon, maybe a couple months. I think summer is definitely the threshold. You know, I don't think we'll go earlier than that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we feel the pressure. We know the demand on them right now. So.
I mean, I understand it, and I know that the simplest thing can just add 3 months to the process. Like, I completely get it. What kind of price point are you aiming for with a kick? Have you got something in mind, or is that still to be confirmed?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think we sort of underpriced the natural gate going in, and we're now with a manufacturer builds higher quality even. So it's going to be under $1,000.
That gives it an answer. Some people are just like, I've no idea, I'm not giving you anything. Under $1,000, that's fair.
Yeah, doable. Under, yeah, no,
I like that.
Maybe 500-600 somewhere in there.
Okay.
I gotta see how much these knobs cost to get made.
I know. Yeah, getting any custom stuff done. Perfect. It sounds amazing, and any eagle-eyed producers will probably have already been cutting out kick sounds between our talking in the video. There's a sample pack in it if someone wants to do it.
Yeah, put your hands on it. Go ahead. Feel free.
We're not gonna give them that one. No.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Sounds great.
Cheers.